third. No, I'm being logical. This woman enabled him to abuse her. If I'm being honest, she enabled it. A lot of people ain't going to agree with that, but if you look at the facts are the facts. She enabled it.
But again, we're humans, right? We can't, well, there's many people who has, done exactly what she had done and nothing has happened to her. Got in with a man the first night, got pregnant, right? Now they're stuck with this man, or they got this man in their life because of a child. Moved in with a man a week or two after meeting her. Like, she's not the only person that made mistakes, or she's not the only person that's done what she has done. And a lot of people have done exactly what she's done, but, their circumstances are different. So again, I'm just going to say this. I'm not blaming her. I'm not even trying to put any fault on her. She did what she did. And now look, she has grace on her side, the grace of God. She's blessed, right?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, and I'm happy she shared her story, and I feel like it was her, it was her choice whether to let us who Legion is or not. Because at the end of the day, Legion's she's not important here. She was the one that was traumatized, right? She, again, was the victim. She made her mistake. She made her bed. She has to lay in it. But at the end of the day, she is still the victim, So.
I hear that. Tina Williams, if you want to go ahead and speak your piece. I'm sorry, you've been waiting a minute. I'm sorry. Just go ahead and let her speak her piece.
That's okay. I just want to add, I think I do agree with you saying that, the lady, she does have to take some blame, because initially I remember in the beginning when she was telling her story, she said when, they had a date and her car blew up and he came and helped her out and paid for everything. And initially, she thought, oh, wow, he has money. So, she knew what being with him, even though whatever dream that he sold to her was fake, but she bought into that dream. She knew what being with him will benefit her. She knew the benefit, even though it was fake, even though it was a facade, but she knew being with him, would add something to her life. And she turned a blind eye, I think, to a lot of things, because he was taking care of some things that, she was like, oh, well, he's taking care of this, so might as well just turn a blind eye. That's what I think. I know he lied about a lot of things, about everything, but she allowed it. She allowed it. She's not a fool. She's not a kid. There was a lot of things, especially being, especially where she said she worked, her line of work. She had a lot of chance to, to go and do a lot of research about the sky, but she didn't. She turned a blind eye to a lot of things. Why? She wasn't a kid. Nobody forced her, but it was because he was doing something for her, filling a void, for her, whether it was maybe she had a low self-esteem, maybe she had a guy telling her all the right things, doing the right things at the right time. So she turned a blind eye to a lot of things. So even though she's a victim, but I think she needs to take some part of the blame. That's what I had to add.
Yeah, and I think she did take accountability. I will say that she definitely 100% took accountability, but I feel like she's not being completely truthful. She's trying to come off as this dainty woman, like, oh, I was just so delusional and I was just that desperate for love and for money. And I feel like, no, she had her intentions in going into the situation with him, and she recognized that man was mentally unstable way before she's saying in her storyline, but she allowed things to go on because of the financial gain that she was getting from saving money from not having to pay her bills.
I want to ask this. From the story, Legion has been, from what we know, Legion has been with 4 women: the first wife, the second wife, the girlfriend, and Teresa. If he was able to do this to 4 women, yet we don't know how many women he's been with. Do y'all still blame Risa for still going forward with this man? I'm just trying to say, like, this man was actually good at what he was doing, because he was able to get four different women. Again, we don't know how many women he's encountered with, but
this is what I'm saying. You're saying that we're blaming her. We're not.
No,
I'm
no, no.
well,
I'm
well,
not saying I'm not no, no, I'm not saying that you're blaming her. I'm not saying that anymore. I'm just saying that, you can't continue to say she should have this, she should have this, saying what she should have done, but he was able to deceive four women, and that's all we know. Four women, but he was able to carry along this lie, this, perception of him for with four women for more than a month, because I know the second wife, he was with her for a month, and then they got divorced. So again, we have to give her grace at the end of the day. We have to, because he deceived four different women.
No, I get your point. I completely understand what you're saying about how the fact that he was able to do this, so he got to be really good at what he does, and I 100% believe that. I'm specifically only speaking on Risa Tessa, because she put a story out there, and I'm just assessing it.
Right,
And
right.
to me personally, I feel like she was way smarter than what she's coming off as, and I feel like she had her motives in going into that situation and allowing it to carry out.
But we all always have.
And I don't think that those motives. I don't think that those motives are just because she wanted love. I don't think that those motives just because she wanted her happy ending. I think initially those motives were. I think this is my problem. She let him move in too fast because he was offering something to her that she needed in the moment. Financial assistance. I think that she allowed herself to be manipulated because she went into this situation way faster than she needed to, because of all not good motives on her part.
Yeah,
and it turned out bad.
I would have to disagree with you on that, because when I'm listening to her story, I had to put myself in her shoes. I have moments where I've met a guy, we've talked the first time, and it was magical, right? I'm not gonna lie, I'm here thinking, yeah, we about to get married, like we about to do this, we about to do that, and I can only imagine how she felt when she was moving in with this guy, because she understood that this is the guy for her. He wants to buy a house just like she wants a house. She wants this, she wants that. Like, he was matching her at her level during their dating. Like, they were.
I'm trying to figure out, how could you meet somebody and then go in with those thoughts, not thinking that you're being absolutely delusional, not to think or look into someone else, to accept and just let things naturally be instead of thinking ahead. Because she really sat there, and it didn't take me all 50 videos for me to watch that lady is just as deranged as the person that she was talking to, and let her ruin her life so called to where she had to put 50 parts on TikTok. Like, let's be for real. I'm holding her accountable, because when she mentioned that she was in law enforcement, like all in one video, that first initial video, all in one video, she told it all. There was no need for me to look at no other parts, then look into who she actually was as an individual to allow this to go on to take place. Now, she originally stated that she's in law enforcement, she be around law enforcement people. So you would think a person of that nature, with that mindset and mind frame, that goes to work or be around people each and every day, would sit up there and say, I'm going to take the initiative because I feel something funny. You can't tell me that your intuition don't be telling you, or you don't look deep into yourself to where you don't know yourself to feel that something is off. And you talking to somebody who has been shot 3 times by the father of their children that I was with for 10 years. And this is because I decided to go back, make my family work. Oh, he's not such a bad guy. Looking past all the red flags. She looked past so many red flags, she made a 50-part series on TikTok. Let's be for real. Like, come on now. Like, come on now. That just make logical sense to me, and it don't take me to have common sense to see that she's just as a manipulator, manipulating us to believe her story just as much as that man manipulated her to be in that 24-month relationship before she knew it wasn't just no good for her.
She did, and I hear you. However, you weren't there, and you weren't in her shoes at the moment. You understand?
None of us was there. None of us was in her shoes.
Exactly. And this is her story, and this is her truth. At the end of the day, Legion is still lying. So we can't even get his side of the story, because he's still gonna lie. to all of
She
us.
lied to herself, thinking that he
And
was gonna be
she
anything
did.
else
And she
but
took
different when
accountability.
she met him and found out the first upon
Right.
him.
Yeah, she did, and she took every accountability. I heard the same story that we all did. She took accountability. She said she was wrong with this. I understood that she was a desperate woman, because if she met Legion at 25 years old, she wouldn't have been in the situation. But this lady's a middle-aged woman who wants a family, who wants a car, and who wants a house. So I understand. I see why she was delusional. I see why she didn't do the because I would ask all of y'all: have you guys done a background check on every single man that y'all came across in your life? We haven't. Sometimes our sense of discernment goes out the windows, especially when the devil comes to you at your weakest point. Especially the devil knows where you're lacking. He's like, okay, I'm going to feel where you lack, so your senses will no longer be there.
She didn't lack nothing when she had the common sense to go look for information upon
She
this
lacked a
man
man.
and figure out
She
what
lacked
more
a
could he
man.
possibly be lying about around in it. That's crazy to me. And somebody whose name was Denise in the comments and said I need to go deal with my trauma. Actually, I do readings and I do tarots. I look way more into people than what you think. So don't come at me projecting who you really are onto me in this live, because I don't deal with that type of energy, period. I just talk aggressively because I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And you gonna hear me the first time I say something, because I said what I meant and I mean what I say.
Period.
Yeah, I hear you, but I just want to go ahead and give up the life, give up the space for somebody else. It was nice talking to y'all.
Nice talking to you too. And then she had a I don't what was the whole rush of her wanting to move out of the 3 bedroom she already had. She had a 3 bedroom with no kids.
I think it was just the area. I believe it was the area, and she just wanted to go. She did say she wanted to go back to a certain area, so I think she already lived in that other area, and she may have moved in. I think she moved into a less quality area where it's a little bit more violent and stuff like that, to save money on rent temporarily until she can afford to get something better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's really
Initial
like
question.
It's like 1 minute.
So I
Something type shit.
want to let Sahari go ahead and speak your piece, Sahari.
yeah, I think it's real delusional. It's okay, it's Sarai, but I know you talking to me, it's okay. I think it's real delusional to come up here and say that like, oh, she was being manipulative by telling her story. What did she manipulate anybody? She wasn't selling anything. Right? And before this happened, she already had kind of like her little bit of views. She had her little theme going on that had nothing to do with her personal life at all. Nothing personal about this woman on her profile before this came out. Her telling her story is not manipulative. Right? She wasn't selling anything. She wasn't trying to convince you of anything. She didn't come out with this man's face and name and slander him right after the relationship. This was 2 years later. She said, look, I was desperate for love. So I let shit slide. I let the red flags go. Right? So I don't really understand how she was manipulating. I really want that answered. What was she manipulating you into?
Are you asking me that, or are you asking somebody
I'm
else?
asking Subri.
Okay.
Trying to get y'all right all over the place. Excuse me, pardon me. I beg my pardon. But anyway, yeah. So I feel like she's manipulating because of it's her tactic on how she's going about it. Like, y'all have to see, she's around police officers. She had common sense. She didn't utilize it, and the way she was utilizing it, she was looking to find information out in all the areas when she should have been running. It only take one red flag. You don't need plenty, and you don't need few. You just need that one. She had got her one. And as she stated in In the video, I continue, even after I seen the one, I continue, there are going to be so many red flags in this video. It's going to be crazy. That's a manipulator, baby. Narcissist, baby.
Okay,
So I'm gonna
well,
need for
what was
you
she
to wake up
manipulating you
and go
into
watch
is the
that
question.
all over again and watch it and watch her mannerisms. Y'all have to pay attention to these things.
I'm just confused. There's not a soul on this
Agree.
panel or
I
in this
agree.
Hold on,
world that doesn't
Shatara.
have a red flag.
Let them finish speaking with each other. Then you just came up. I'm gonna let you speak your piece, babe.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's not.
Say it again.
There's
I'm sorry.
She only stayed because he was
yeah.
providing for her.
Thank you. Thank
She
you.
put up with it because she was getting taken care of.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Did you want to respond to that?
World that doesn't have a red flag. I don't care who you are. Obama himself, to Michelle Obama, has a red flag. That's let's be real and be realistic and be honest and turn our TikTok brains off and turn our real world brains on. There's no such thing as a perfect human being, a perfect relationship, none of that, none of this, right? So in my opinion, there outside, and I find it weird because my daddy's a police officer. He was a police officer for 32 years, right? 32 whole years. I've never done research, a crazy background search on my husband. I've never been to his office because I don't know about his job. I don't really give a fuck about his job. The money comes home. I love him to death. I trust him. He's never done anything crazy, grimy. I don't care about his operations job. Okay. Why would I go sit in his office for? Right. So,
I hear that. Can I ask you something? How long did it take for you to move with your husband in the beginning? What are some things that you got to know about him before you trusted, letting him even know where you stay at and stuff like that?
it took me like, I think we moved in together like a year after we started dating.
When you guys first started dating, how long did it take for you to trust this man to come to your home?
Like a month, if that.
And what is it about him that made you trust him enough to come to your home?
I trusted the blicky that I keep on my nightstand. That's what I trusted.
I understand that you got your own protection. Every woman should have that. But I just want to know what, finally after a month, what is it that made you say, all right, I feel like I can let this man know where I stay at?
I mean, I trusted that he was a good person. I know his family outside of our relationship. I knew his family through church. We have the same circle of friends. That's it, and that's all. I mean, that's something that she took accountability for. I never said she wasn't a little dumb and that she wasn't a little desperate. That's fine. I'm trying to figure out where we're getting manipulative and narcissistic and that from.
Okay, and we're gonna get back to that. I just want to let the new person I let up just go ahead and speak your piece.
Hey, I'm gonna let everybody talk right quick because I'm clocking out of work, and then I will say what I have to say when I clock out.
Okay,
Is that okay?
Go ahead. So Subri, did you want to respond to her? She's trying to basically understand where are you getting that Teresa Teresa is narcissistic and where she is a manipulator herself. I believe don't let me put words in your mouth. If I said that wrong, go ahead, correct me.
No, you're good. And especially like what she manipulated you into.
Subri, you're muted, babe. If you're talking and you don't, no.
Hey, y'all. So, can I say something now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I can agree, and I can agree, but I do think she had attacked it. I think he had attacked it too. She's very intelligent. First off, the only reason why she moved in with him, the only reason why she allowed him to move in was because he had a studio apartment. Knowing she is a bigger girl, and if anybody knows someone that's been in a studio apartment, you know for a fact that it's not going to be comfortable with two people. So it was already COVID. So I'm pretty sure she was like, okay, let's just move in with me. I'm pretty sure she was trying to play him as well, super fat, because, of the money and things like that. And he was a provider. But things didn't go